Well, Kansas basketball is officially on the board in the transfer portal of 2023. On Wednesday afternoon, the Jayhawks landed a commitment from Towson transfer Nick Timberlake, and it's a big domino to fall early on for Kansas as they land one of their priority targets. Timberlake was one of the first players to enter the transfer portal when the window opened back in March. And basically, as soon as KU season came to a close, they really started to recruit Timberlake and his family. KU was able to get him on campus for an official visit about 2 weeks ago, and Timberlake took visits to North Carolina, then Kansas, and then most recently, he was on campus at UConn. And he had interest from countless other programs in addition to KU and the other two. So this is a huge get for Kansas. And I think you look at what Kansas is losing in terms of Grady Dick moving on to the NBA and the shooting that they lose with Dick moving on. Well, that's exactly what Timberlake's game is. He's about 6'4", sturdily built. He's someone that you look at the numbers, right? He averaged 17.7 points per game on 45% shooting from the floor, 41% shooting from three, and it's on high volume too. He took, in terms of per season, the same amount of threes over the last 2 seasons as Grady Dick did this past season, about 206. And Timberlake knocked down 41.2 of those combined over the last 2 seasons, where Dick knocked down 40.3%, right? So a marginal difference in terms of the 3-point percentage, but it just goes to show you that he is at the same exact level of a shooter as Grady Dick was. And if you want to go look at him playing against better teams, against Ken Palm top 50 teams, he still shot above 43% from three. So this is a situation where Timberlake has made 3-point shots against really good teams, and he's been a high volume scorer at Towson. It's going to be a little bit of a different role at Kansas. You look at what Kansas has in terms of its backcourt. Marco Jackson, DeJuan Harris are two guys that are going to be playing a lot of minutes, and they're going to be on the ball a lot. Obviously, we know DeJuan Harris, as long as he's at Kansas, he's going to be playing a lot of minutes. And Marco Jackson's coming in with a really strong pedigree coming from the high school ranks. And what Timberlake now allows you to do is you can really mix and match these lineups where you kind of got a guy in Timberlake that can play that 2 guard spot, but he can also probably play the three, depending on the guard lineups you're going against. In the Big 12, you think about maybe a Baylor team that could play 3 guards. Well, Timberlake can be that third guard for Kansas, where he can play alongside Marco Jackson and DeJuan Harris if they want to go with that lineup. If they want to just play one ball handler and have maybe another ball handler on the front court, well, then you can have Timberlake be your 2 guard and have him play alongside DeJuan Harris, have him play alongside Marco Jackson. In terms of how he could fit at Kansas next year, I think you're going to see Bill Self draw up a lot of spot up shooting opportunities for Timberlake. You look at the synergy numbers, he was in the 94th percentile nationally, top tier as a spot up shooter. He was also pretty good at coming off of screens. So I think you could see situations where it's a lot of similar plays that Kansas ran for Grady Dick last year. Get Timberlake where he can create his own shot at times, but not something he's going to have to do at a high volume. So you look at Kansas right now, this is a really huge addition early on. He's ranked in the top 25 portal prospects nationally, one of the top 10 or 12 guards in the portal overall, a guy that fills a need in terms of his shooting prowess. He's got some versatility in terms of playing the 2 or the 3, and he's someone that is really going to fit some needs in terms of his minute load. He's a guy that could play 20 to 25 minutes. I think there are certain games maybe where he could push 30 minutes, but it's a big addition for Kansas, underway in the portal now. And now all eyes are going to turn to Hunter Dickinson, who is set to be on campus starting on Thursday for Kansas. He's going to be the next domino for Kansas, really to try and push to fall. And you're going to be able to use Timberlake's commitment as a recruiting tool for Hunter Dickinson, for someone like Harrison Ingram, who's expected to visit Kansas still. So plenty more dominoes to come in terms of the world of Kansas basketball portal recruiting. Plenty of twists and turns to come over the next few days and maybe even next few weeks. So make sure you're staying tuned to fog.net for all sorts of Kansas basketball recruiting coverage you're not going to get anywhere else.